Looking good, guys. Looking good. But that brings me to this signal. And it's called a morning star. Okay? So this is something that I wasn't aware of. But someone emailed me today about it. My team also told me about it. And it's quite interesting. And what is a morning star? Morning star is when you have 3 candlesticks. And basically the last candlestick is taller than the first one. And it's long, not short, meaning that you're seeing a true reversal with the price action. Okay, so what does it look like? It looks like this. Yeah, let me see if I can zoom in here. Let me try to open this up. Yeah, this is what it looks like. So you have a big red candlestick, then you have a smaller red candlestick, kind of indicating the bottom. Then you have a tremendous green candlestick. So this is black and white. So yeah, so you're not seeing that. You're not seeing the colors, but you get what it's showing, right? You're seeing a bottom being formed, and then you're seeing a really good reversal. That is what is showing. Now, you would figure with Bitcoin's history, long history of over 12 years, we would see this often, right? Like we would see it all the time. But the thing is, we don't. We don't see it all the time. And the last time we saw it was when Bitcoin bottomed out in 2015 when it was at $160. Okay, that was approximately the last time we saw a morning star. And afterwards, Bitcoin went up 6,365%. Not dollars, 6,365%, ending at 20,000, right? So going from $160 all the way to $20,000. And from 20,000 all the way till now, we have not seen it again until now, right? So this is one of those signals. It's an ultra bullish signal. One that only happened once prior, and now we're seeing a second time. So I can't even calculate if Bitcoin from right now goes up 6,000%, where it would end up. It would be astronomically high. Do I think we're going to go up 6,000%? Possibly not. It's improbable because of how high Bitcoin is already at 21,000. But to think that we're starting something new, we're starting a trend upwards, right? Not only getting back to our previous highs and breaking through it and possibly finally hitting that 100,000 and beyond, that's a real reality as we're heading into the next halving event and beyond, right? That is definitely in the works or in the cards, right? So I'm liking it. I'm liking it. And this brings me to what I said earlier. There's a lot of people that are in disbelief. They don't quite believe it. This is a head scratcher. Anthony Scaramucci, because his involvement with FTX, I mean, it's not a good look. Obviously, anyone tied with FTX before, feeling the pain of that connection. But anyways, FTX did buy a portion of Skybridge, and he's trying to buy that back. But now he's backing one of FTX's ex-presidents, Brett Harrison. Now, Brett Harrison left FTX.US before it all went under. So many people feel like he had nothing to do with whatever's going on, right? And he's trying to, raise funds for some other venture. And the Mooch actually gave him some money. We don't know how much, but there's definitely something there, right? So it's a little head scratcher why Anthony Scaramucci wants this kind of heat right now, trying to back an ex-FTX president, right? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Unless he's 100% certain this is a good play and Brett Harrison had nothing to do whatsoever with anything within FTX. I guess we'll see. On to some more bullish news. Anthony Scaramucci says he sees Bitcoin at 50 to 100,000 in 2 to 3 years, right? But we have heard this before. Ever since 2017, we've been talking about Bitcoin hitting 100,000. Has it happened yet? No, right? That's why so many people, they don't believe anymore. Even though, yes, we have up and downs, a lot of people refuse to believe, right? And I get it. I get it because a lot of predictions have been thrown out there. But to be fair, Bitcoin did go on a tremendous run all the way up to 69,000. We were cut a little short because Fed Chair Powell started raising rates a little bit early, right? And that kind of cut things short, but we were close. So to think that we can't ever get back there, I think is short-sighted. Of course we're going to get back there. We're going to get back to our previous high, and we're going to go above. Crypto-focused bank Silvergate reports a huge loss. Yeah, that was not that was expected, not a surprise because of their ties with a lot of these companies that went under, but they're still around. They haven't closed doors. With a loss of $1 billion in Q4, that is no joke. No joke at all. And what's also no joke is Anthony Scaramucci says SBF is he has a spot for him in the ninth circle of hell. I don't know what that means exactly, but the Mooch is not a fan of SBF. But someone who is a fan of SBF, Mr. Wonderful, is still doing interviews and talking about and kind of spreading fear about how other crypto exchanges will melt down to zero. It will 100% happen, which I do agree with over time. But as for exchanges that may be going under in 2023, I don't see a whole lot of exchanges doing that. Now, there may be some companies in the crypto that could be doing it, but overall, I think the contagion from what we have seen has pretty much been limited. Now, the one asterisk I would say to worry about is DCG and what they're going to do with Genesis and Grayscale, right? But I don't think they're in a position where they're just going to be absolutely wrecked and close doors and that's it. I think they will find a way to get out of it. However, I still have not heard Kevin O'Leary say that SBF did anything wrong. Still have not heard that. There's just something about this relationship there between Mr. Wonderful and SBF. He will back him till the end, to the ends of the earth. Not quite sure why, but it is what it is. What about this? Coinbase halt operation in Japan, right? I don't know how many of you guys are watching me from Japan, but Japan operates a little bit differently. All exchanges that operate in Japan needs to have like a separate entity, a separate balance sheet. It's kind of like cut off from the main corporation, right? So even like FTX Japan, which seems to be very solvent, and FTX is looking to sell FTX Japan. Coinbase operates the same way, and everyone else does. But because Coinbase recently had to lay off 20% of their staff, a lot of that staff was headquartered in Japan. So they made a tough decision to say, hey, it's just not worth it for us to operate. We are cutting back. In case you are in Japan, you have a deadline. Withdrawal for both fiat and crypto will be available until February 16th, okay? And customers will still be able to deposit fiat until January 20th. I'm not even sure why they're going to allow people to deposit for the next 2 days, but you have 2 more days for deposits, and then you have about a month where both fiat and crypto withdrawals will be stopped. And I don't know what happens if you forget, but it's happening very, very, very soon, right? So does this mean, some of you guys may be wondering, well, does this mean Coinbase is in trouble? They're shutting down operations. Well, financially, I do think they're hurting right now, which is why they've been laying people off quite a lot. Their stock, even though it has staged a little bit of comeback because Bitcoin has started coming up, but still, their stock has been hammered like 80, 90% since its IPO. So financially, they're struggling a little bit, right? Probably not making nearly as many, collecting nearly as many fees as they used to when everyone's trading, much more. But I do think they're still one of the best in the industry, definitely the largest and most regulated in the US. And as the whole crypto market swings upwards, I think they'll be just fine. But right now, it does seem like financially they are hurting quite a lot. What's going on with Cardano, right? DJED, which is a stablecoin that's coming out for Cardano, is on track, and it's going to launch this month. So seeing how we only have 2 weeks left in this month, it's soon, right? So will this boost Cardano overall? Quite possibly. Something else I didn't know about Cardano is that they formed a relationship with Singularity.net, which a lot of you guys are paying attention to because it's an AI play and it's been pumping, right? But they actually have a big relationship. Charles Hoskinson is a big fan of Singularity, and they are working together to try to create more AI projects and get more projects involved with AI. So there's that too. So Cardano has a lot of stuff going on, even though at times seems like there's nothing going on, but there's a lot of developments happening, and they're still trying to work on their governance and other things, right? So good stuff happening within Cardano's ecosystem. CZ is helping recover some of the hacked funds from Harmony. A lot of people have asked me, what do you feel about Harmony? Are you still bullish? My answer is no. I've become neutral ever since this hack happened, and also DeFi Kingdoms left. But it does seem like those hackers are getting desperate, still trying to cash out of those stolen funds. And CZ actually told Huobi to stop it. So they actually froze about 124 Bitcoin that they try to cash out, right? So CZ does say that, according to this thread, that he and other security teams, well, Binance Security, not him himself, but Binance Security and other exchange securities, they talk. So they kind of, help each other to stop this kind of thing. Although he says not every exchange are collaborative. Hopefully those are like the smaller ones and not the bigger ones. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty sure it's going to be returned to Harmony. And the more they return, the better it is for the project. So good stuff. And also they're going to allow institutional investors to keep collateral in Binance custody. I didn't even know Binance had their own custody. I knew that Gemini and Coinbase did, but Binance also has custody. So now they're allowing institutional investors to keep collateral in Binance custody and off the exchanges. I guess that's good. But you know who's not hurting is Binance. And Binance now just opens up in Poland. So any of you guys watching from Poland, it looks like you'll be able to trade in Binance. Okay, good overall. But first, what happened today in the U.S. market? Well, tomorrow's future market again looks like it's going to be a red, but today actually finished in the green for NASDAQ. So that's positive, even though Dow Jones got pulled down almost 400 points. Why? Because of Goldman Sachs. Because Goldman Sachs reported the worst earnings in over a decade. But the thing is, though, not all banks are struggling. It's just Goldman. Goldman, their CEO, David Solomon, said, they did too much. They screwed up, right? But other banks are doing quite fine. Some, in fact, are making money hand over fist still, right? So this is not a broader thing where you're seeing all the banks having problems, which overall is good if you think about it, right? So even though today you had one major bank that brought down, I should say, kind of the whole market, you argue that, but did not affect Bitcoin or crypto or tech. The Bitcoin related stocks shot up today. Coinbase shot up, MicroStrategy shot up, the mining company shot up, right? Tesla shot up. Today was just a really good recovery day. Bank of America says CBDCs are the future of money and payments. I don't know if they're referring to the Fed dollar, right? The digital dollar that's coming, or in general CBDCs from across nations everywhere, or in relation to stable coins within the crypto space, right? But ultimately, I think all these guys are preparing for the future. and that is utilizing digital currencies, okay, and stop using the traditional financial payment rails, which are archaic and slow and costly. You don't need none of that. When it comes to payments, crypto, blockchain, settlement times, ledger, everything that comes with what we have right now is so much superior and faster and cheaper. There is the market bell. The best bell in the industry. So they recognize it, we recognize it, and that's why we're in this space. That's why we're in early. All right. Lastly, just out of the blue, I have relatives in Taiwan. My aunt was watching the news, and then she came across this. I mean, it was broadcasted live, but then here's a clip on YouTube. But this, they're talking about whatever. They were talking about gold. They were talking about stocks, and then they started talking about Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden, they showed my face on there. So I don't know if you guys understand Chinese, but I'll just play it real quick.
1万美元，创 FTX 破产后新高，带领加密货币总市值回到1兆美元。
Recovering up in a good way, but there's a lot of, again, models and indicators and on-chain metrics that show that, yeah, it's definitely recovering from its bottom. Here's one.
市场看好联准会。
Just to throw that out there, pretty amazing. Never thought that I would be shown on a Taiwanese news channel. And they probably never thought that I would notice, but somehow I did. So it's pretty good overall.